Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves will attend the second Africa-CARICOM Summit scheduled for September 6 to the 7th, 2025 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The Prime Minister departs the state today, accompanied by a delegation from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Speaking on the radio this morning, Prime Minister Gonsalves said the main objective of the visit is to reaffirm and strengthen political and diplomatic ties between the African Union, the AU, and CARICOM, of which St. Vincent and the Grenadines is an active member.
The actual purpose for the visit to Ethiopia is to have a meeting with the African Union, CARICOM and the African Union. You know, we have been strengthening links between Africa and CARICOM. And, you know, bilaterally, my government has been strengthening links with Africa very much. It's not the first time I'm going to Ethiopia. I've been there a couple of times since I've been Prime Minister. Well, in fact, 3 times, and one occasion was a very important official visit in October 2005.
The Prime Minister also revealed that his delegation includes members of the Rastafari community, including individuals from his own constituency.
This occasion, I'm taking along with me Professor Denny, who, as you know, is a historian, an Africanist, among other things, and two Rastafari brothers, or the leader of the Rose Hall Drummers.
Patterson. It's Patterson, I think.
Yes, Patterson. And a farmer from Greg's, Ajit Duncan. Remember the last time when I went, well, not last time, the 2005 when I went, it took Rasoti, also from South Central Windward.
The second African CARICOM Summit is expected to bring together leaders from African nations, Caribbean states, and the wider African diaspora. The aim is to strengthen unity, deepen integration, and jointly pursue reparations and reparatory justice under a comprehensive transcontinental partnership framework. The summit has been held under the theme Transcontinental Partnership in Pursuit of Reparatory Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through reparations. The initiative seeks to develop strategic collaboration on trade, education, health, climate change, and reparatory justice for the legacy of slavery and colonialism. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Gonsalves stated that he is expected to return to St. Vincent and the Grenadines on September 10th, but not before holding meetings with potential investors in the United Kingdom.
The journey a little shorter for everybody. Last time when I went from Addis Ababa to Shashamane is 4 hours. But we'll fly this time. Take half an hour, 40 minutes. Beautiful place, Ethiopia. But in transiting in London, I have some meetings arranged with some investors whom I've been working with. And naturally, I'd also see High Commissioner Lewis. There are always issues to be discussed with the High Commissioner face to face. So I'll be back on the 10th, God willing.
And the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines will join the wider Caribbean and the African continent in commemorating Africa-CARICOM Day, observed annually on September 7th. This day stands as a powerful symbol of unity, shared history, and the enduring cultural, social, and economic ties between the peoples of Africa and the Caribbean. Africa-CARICOM Day was first proclaimed in 2021 following a landmark meeting between the heads of state and government of the African Union and the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. Since then, it has served as an important platform to strengthen bonds of solidarity, deepen cooperation, and advance mutual recognition in areas such as culture. Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture, Carlos James, emphasized the significance of the day. In a news release, he was quoted as saying, Africa-CARICOM Day allow us to reflect on our shared heritage and chart new paths of collaboration that empowered our people. Our ancestral and cultural ties remain the foundation of our partnerships. As part of the observance, the Department of Culture in the Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture will host a special cultural presentation this Friday, September 5th, 2025 at the Old Treasury Building site from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The activities will include performances from local artists, an African fashion show, dances showcasing African heritage, an African and local craft corner, and a breadfruit food station. Intentions are also encouraged to participate fully by wearing African theme attire on this day, proudly displaying the cultural connections that continue to unite Africa and the Caribbean. The Ministry of Tourism, Sustainable Development and Culture said Africa-CARICOM Day is not only a commemoration of our shared past, but also a call to action, a reminder that the challenges can be overcome collectively, and reaffirm its commitment to promoting cultural awareness, people-to-people exchanges, and initiatives that strengthen the bonds between Africa and the Caribbean. Residents of Byera and surrounding areas participated in a community consultation on Monday evening held at the Pamelersburg Primary School. The consultation provided updates on the redevelopment of the Byera Health Center as part of the Smart Health Project under the OECS Regional Health Project funded by the World Bank. St. Vincent and Grenadines has received US $10.5 million in funding from the World Bank to support the OECS Regional Health Project. The initiative is being implemented by the Economic Planning Division in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment. The project focuses on 4 key components: strengthening health facilities, enhancing public health surveillance, building institutional capacity, improving emergency response mechanisms. As part of this initiative, approximately $4 million will be invested in upgrading the Byera Health Center with the goal of improving its resilience to climate-related hazards and emergencies. The redeveloped facility is set to become a smart health center designed to be safe, green, and resilient. Key features of the upgraded Byera Health Center include a modern smart facility built to withstand extreme weather, energy-efficient systems, rainwater harvesting, and eco-friendly building materials, universal access for all users, including persons with disabilities, improve emergency preparedness to ensure continuous operation during disasters. Addressing the consultation, Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, told the gathering that whenever his government undertakes a major development project in the constituency, he ensures the community is consulted first. Dr. Gonzalez said they already completed a temporary clinic, but the smart facility, once completed, will be far more advanced in terms of design, technology, and functionality.
When the nurses are anxious to move in, or they love it, but what you see there is baby play to this one. We're delivering for you one of the best smart clinics anywhere in the Eastern Caribbean. Not just in this, but in the Eastern Caribbean. Carlos, is Carlos there? Like Carlos behind the shot, is Carlos?
No.
Is not Carlos?
No.
Oh. How much you think this thing went cost? How much money you think it went cost? Somebody venture a guess.
$2 million.
$4 million. $4 million. The floor space is almost 4,000 square feet. When you think about an ordinary 3-bedroom house, it's 1,200, 1,500 square feet with 3 bedrooms, with a nice porch and living room and kitchen and so forth. Think about this. Nearly 4,000 square feet of floor space. And it's going to be very well equipped.
Dr. Gonzalez also revealed that the bidding process for the construction of the new facility was won by Saudo Construction, which he commended for delivering high-quality work on previous national projects.
Because a $4 billion job is a big job. Though it's not the biggest one that Saudo do, because you did the city fence. You did the city fence down at Georgetown and up at Caratal. It has about $17 million. More or less. He does good job, does good work. He's doing 2 of the segments now of the city fence in Sandy Bay. Total cost for the 3 lots in Sandy Bay, the 3 segments, to save that Kalinago Garifuna village, part of our history, where we have wonderful people living there. It's costing almost $40 million. And he just finished doing $6.5 million worth of road in Connery. You don't see that from the roadside. Beautiful road, because I had to cut up some land there, and I'm going to give out about 70 lots of land there shortly. But I have 360 people apply for 70 lots, so I have to get more lots elsewhere. He tells me that he's going to employ about 70 to 80 persons here. He'll bring a core, but he'll probably pick up about 30 or so in the Byera area. Huh? Okay. That's fair enough.
The construction phase is expected to begin later this month. Once completed, the upgraded Byera Health Center will significantly enhance healthcare delivery in the area, providing a safe, more inclusive and environmental sustainable facility for the community. Assistant Director of Projects at the CARICOM Impacts, Nadine Bushell, says that recent trends in online scams in St. Vincent and the Grenadines have underscored the urgent need for increased public awareness on cybersecurity and cyber crime. Speaking at the launch of a public awareness campaign yesterday, Bushell emphasized that critical interventions are required, particularly to protect vulnerable populations from falling victim to various forms of cyber scams, including impersonation and the misuse of personal data.
Financial fraud, phishing, and online scams are among the most prevalent of cybercrime. These range from phishing emails pretending to be local banks or utility companies to advance fee lottery scams to fraudulent cryptocurrency schemes promoted on social media. We also have sextortion and online coercion cases, which are also on the rise, targeting the most vulnerable. Cyberbullying, harassment, and malicious communications are increasing with the widespread use of TikTok, Facebook, and WhatsApp. And identity-related crimes, often tied to financial fraud, are growing as stolen data is often used to open accounts, apply for credit, or impersonate victims.
CARICOM Impacts Implementation Agency for Crime and Security has been actively supporting countries across the region through various cybersecurity and cybercrime prevention programs. However, Bushell noted that more needs to be done, especially at the policy level and in terms of the adoption of advanced technology to keep pace with evolving threats.
While public awareness, the very first priority of the CCS CAP, is the foundation of everything else we are building: stronger infrastructure, better laws, and deeper international cooperation. Under the leadership of our Executive Director, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Jones, CARICOM Impacts has supported member states, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines, by building law enforcement and judicial capacity to respond to these threats, but we are not stopping there. We are currently updating the CCS CAP to stay ahead of the curve, with new provisions on artificial intelligence, along with stronger monitoring and evaluation framework. This will be included. By late 2025, the updated plan will be available to all, and led by our Cyber Fusion unit, which is already providing critical cyber threat intelligence, technical assistance, and capacity building to our member states.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines is one of 4 ECS countries participating in the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, which seeks to enhance digital infrastructure, strengthen data protection, and improve digital literacy among citizens. As part of the initiative, public awareness campaigns have already commenced, aiming to empower individuals and businesses to navigate the digital space safely and responsibly. Welcome back. In more local news now, we hear that Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia continue to be the most prevalent forms of dementia in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This was revealed by Glenda Brewster Glasgow, Vice President of the SVG Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Association, during an interview on WeFM this morning. Brewster Glasgow emphasized that the primary mission of the association is to educate the public and reduce the stigma surrounding dementia-related conditions, particularly Alzheimer's disease. She stressed that increased public awareness can help communities provide better support for individuals and families living with these illnesses.
All right. So the Alzheimer's disease, so this SVG Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Association, our goal really is striving to make Alzheimer's disease and dementia memory, especially for Vincentians. So our goal is to first educate the public about Alzheimer's disease and dementia, so increasing awareness. We think when we increase awareness amongst everybody, then the goal will be to decrease stigma. We know many people don't like to say the word or hear the term Alzheimer's disease, memory loss, cognitive changes, anything like that. We tend to be hands off with that. So when we increase awareness and provide education, then our goal will be to decrease stigma. The other thing would be to advocate on behalf of caregivers and persons living with cognitive impairment and dementia in St. Vincent. So policy-wise, how can we have the government systems put things in place to support caregivers and people living with dementia, provide resources and support for caregivers and people living with dementia. So far, we have done education sessions in the community, but we've done training also for formal and informal caregivers, so paid and family caregivers, so that they understand the disease and understand how to better care for the person who's living with dementia.
She further explained that her team has been actively engaging with the public through training sessions and educational programs. These initiatives are aimed at equipping caregivers, healthcare providers, and family members with the necessary knowledge and practical skills to better care for those affected by dementia.
I've reached out to nursing homes. We have reached out to the, I'm not sure if I'm going to get this correctly, but the Ministry of Mobilization, let's just call it that. that ministry. So they do have the home carers network, so we've reached out to them. We've worked pretty closely with them. One of their members is one of their employees and leaders in that department is a member of our organization. So we've been able to reach out in that way. We have our Facebook page, which we are able to share what it is that we're doing. So those are some ways that we have done it. We have reached out to healthcare providers who do provide care for people living with cognitive changes and dementia, and shared what we're doing and have them also tell carers and people and about the programs that we're doing.
Highlighting the unpredictable nature of the disease, Brewster Glasgow also addressed the misconception that Alzheimer's only affects the elderly. She noted that from her experience, even individuals under the age of 40 have been diagnosed with a form of Alzheimer's, referencing rare cases of early onset Alzheimer's that can occur in younger adults.
So there's not necessarily an age associated with dementia, but we have had what we call the delineation. So we have young onset, and then we have, so we say that's less than 65, and people who are older than 65, then we would call that, I guess, dementia in general. The people who do have the younger onset, though, those are more like the frontotemporal dementia. So that's two lobes in your brain that are impacted more. And for those, we tend to see more what we call behavioral variants. So they might be people who might act out before we even realize that they have a dementia process ongoing. So they might not know how to necessarily control themselves in a situation. So people might say, oh my goodness, why is that person so angry? or if they're having a conversation, something might cause them to, as we say, pop off very easily instead of being able to manage their emotional responses.
The Vice President of the SVG Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Association called for continued community collaboration and expanded public education efforts. She underscored that awareness, early detection, and the creation of supportive networks are vital components in addressing the growing challenges posed by dementia in the country. Schools officially reopened across St. Vincent and Grenadines on Monday, September 1st, marking what Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves described as the busiest day in the country. Speaking on radio today, the Prime Minister reflected on the national significance of the new school term, noting the large-scale movement of people, students, teachers, and parents, as well as increased transportation activity throughout the country. Dr. Gonsalves also provided an update on the government's ongoing school repair program, commonly referred to as the 4 Million Schools Repairs Initiative. He stated that while major works under the program were completed in time for reopening, additional upgrades are pending as funds secured from the government of Saudi Arabia have not yet been utilized.
School, there's a lot of preparatory work you have to do. We spent just over $4 million doing the school repairs. Basic repairs. There are things still to be done. There's a larger program funded by the Saudi fund, but those monies are not yet available. The procedures are more lengthy than some other procedures. That's okay. We day by day with Jesus, and we find other resources to do other things in the meanwhile. Immediately prior to that, we spent over $3 million with the before Christmas road cleaning. You know, people used to do it. The governments before did limited road cleaning, maybe amounting to $200,000-$300,000 for before Carnival. I prefer to do a $3 million cleaning before school opening.
In a related development, Prime Minister Gonsalves announced that approximately 100 new teaching positions have been approved for the new academic year. He stated that the Ministry of Education is currently working on final placement arrangements for both teachers and students.
Things. Then there are hundreds of placements which have to be made in relation to teachers. The ministry, I approved 100 positions for teacher ones. Those are persons with CXCs, A-level associate degrees, teacher 2 associate degrees, CAPE. They to have support systems through those teacher 1s, teacher 2s, and then to make sure that all the principals, deputy principals, we have the teachers properly put in place.
Despite the approvals, the Prime Minister acknowledged a recurring challenge faced by the ministry. He noted that it's usually not easy to fill all the positions on time, as applications tend to come in very late, sometimes just before the reopening of schools, which puts pressure on the system.
You will have teachers who will make application for study leave to go overseas. One working day, 2 working days before the school opens. Some of it is tardiness on their part, but most of it is because the universities respond late to them. So if you have 30, 40 teachers, you have that situation. I mean, between the Thursday and Friday and the weekend, to get everybody for Monday, is a hectic rush. And you have to have those appointments done. For instance, on Fridays, the Public Service Commission has to be meeting pretty much all day, because they have a series of appointments they have to make. Because if the appointments are not made, you're not going to get the the salary is paid. Everything has to be done formally.
Dr. Gonzalez praised the efforts of the Ministry of Education, school administrators and teachers who work diligently to ensure a smooth start to the new school year despite logistical hurdles.